102 Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:35. And Manfred Mann with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's going to be a mix of sun and clouds today, a high of 76. Some showers tonight. Man, we need that rain badly. It's going to become steady overnight, low of 56. And for tomorrow, cloudy, occasional light rain with a high of 67. 53 degrees right now in downtown Springfield. Loads of stuff to give away today. Fleetwood Mac tickets for 52 Sumner. They're coming to 52 Sumner on the 31st. What is that, Saturday or so? And Almost Queen coming in to the Westfield River Brewery on June 7th. All those tickets and a lot of other stuff. Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Similar to
Classic Rock. It's 5:52 in John Mellencamp with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It is going to be, and I will tell you in just 1 second, because I wasn't prepared for the forecast, but going to be sunny to start, then cloudy by this afternoon with a high of 73. It's 53 right now in downtown Springfield.
Hollywood Trash is brought to you by Western Mass Masons. Call them for all your foundation and chimney needs.
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So, from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
Business Insider ranked all of Tom Cruise's movies. So,
okay,
we're going to go, the Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, had a series best opening with $79 million at the U.S. box office over the holiday weekend. It's safe to say that he still kicks ass at 62 years old. Do you do your own stunts?
No.
Yeah.
I don't. I hire.
You send somebody else in. Not all of his movies are winners, but they rank them all with Born on the 4th of July as his best and Rock of Ages as his worst. But Risky Business is number 10, which I would have thought that would have ranked higher.
Number 10?
Yeah, Born on the 4th of July is number 1. Color of Money is number 2. Magnolia is number 3, which I hated that movie. A Few Good Men, which I like that movie.
That's a good one.
Jerry Maguire, Rain Man, Edge of Tomorrow, Interview with a Vampire, and Mission Impossible. And then Risky Business. Those are the best.
Risky Business seems a little too low for me.
The worst are Rock of Ages, Endless Love, Jack Reacher, The Mummy, Losing It, Mission Impossible 2. See, it always has to be a bad Mission Impossible.
They can't all be good. Surprisingly, they made 3 after 2 was such a bust.
They made 7. There's 7 now. Jack Reacher, Oblivion, Lion for Lambs, and Far and Away. Yeah, I didn't... I always thought Nicole Kidman was a saucy young gal.
Sure. Of course.
She made the movie. That's how they sold the tickets. It wasn't Tom Cruise.
Listen, I don't watch a movie simply because Tom Cruise is in it.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Oh. What about Nicole Kidman?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Eyes Wide Shut. That was the only reason to sit through that piece of crap for 3 hours.
It was painful.
Well, I mean, it gave you a little insight to the underworld going on out there among the rich.
I would think even Diddy could throw a better party than that, though.
You're right, though. With all the white.
Right.
They were all
and
in
the
masks.
oil.
Yeah, they were all in masks. Let's see. Elizabeth Moss could turn up in the Handmaid's Tale spinoff, The Testaments. She said, quote, June is probably my favorite character I've played at this point, and so, of course, I don't want that to end. Did you see this? Have you seen this Handmaid's Tale thing?
I saw the first couple of seasons, and at that point I was like, okay, I've had enough.
What is it about?
Oh, it's a very complicated storyline, but basically America falls apart. And then it becomes a society which basically enslaves women.
Yeah.
Causes them to be treated as inferior. We all know, Steve, that could never possibly happen.
Ever.
Ever. I mean, seriously.
Some sad news. Guitarist Rick Derringer died Monday at the age of 77. And to say this guy did just about everything in his career would be an understatement. Did you ever interview this guy?
Years ago.
As a member of the McCoys, Derringer had a #1 hit with the 1965 Hang On Sloopy. Oh, he wrote that one?
Yeah.
Wow.
The dude did a lot of stuff. Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo is like one blip in this guy's resume.
Sounds like a Dave Edmunds. Like Dave Edmunds had what I Hear You Knocking.
that and Rockpile and all the other stuff that you did. But actually, Derringer probably did even more.
But I'm saying as comparison to like a hit, like a number one hit or something like that, and then the rest of the stuff is behind the scenes. Probably like a Todd Rundgren too, right?
Rundgren produced more, but yeah, Derringer played a lot of session work.
He did session work with Steely Dan, Todd Rundgren, Kiss, and Barbra Streisand, to name a few. He produced for Cyndi Lauper and also played the solo on Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart. He won a Grammy for producing Weird Al Yankovic's debut album Eat It and played the guitar solo on the title track. He went on to produce Weird Al's first 6 albums. And what toe tappers they were.
They were.
In 1985, he produced the wrestling album for WWE. Excuse me. Which was the WWF at the time. He also wrote and performed the track Real American, which Hulk Hogan uses that theme song to this day. But what did he do with his life?
Probably more than either one of us will ever do.
I don't know. It just seems like he was kind of a lazy dude. You only did that throughout your life?
That's like one guy I wouldn't necessarily accuse of being lazy.
I'm kind of joking.
I think he did more in a year than you and I have done in 5.
You want to hear about rock stars who almost died on stage?
Do I?
Rock and roll is a dangerous business. It's killed plenty of people, and a few have even died on stage. And here are the 10 rock stars who almost bit it in the middle of a show. Alice Cooper. He's fake died countless times over the course of his career, but once his phony guillotine almost sliced his neck for real, and he's almost accidentally hung himself multiple times.
Well, that's the price of show business, isn't it?
Yeah. You're gonna
play with a guillotine on a stage. You're gonna expect it ain't gonna work every night.
Black Sabbath bassist Geezer Butler, he got bad food poisoning during a 1995 solo tour. He ended up leaning against the amps to play and even started hallucinating. They rushed him to the hospital and the tour was scrapped. So it was just like any other Black Sabbath show.
I was going to say, how many hallucinations did the Geezer Butler have during his career?
Keith Richards. It seems like he could never die, but the Reaper gave it his best shot in 1965. Keith got a shock from an underground microphone that knocked him off his feet, and he was carried off the stage semi-conscious. That's probably how he lived so long.
One of those near-death experiences in which he has eternal life.
Yeah, Frank Zappa. During a 1971 show in London, a fan rushed the stage and pushed Zappa into the orchestra pit. He fell 15 feet to a concrete floor, suffering multiple injuries, including a crushed larynx. The attacker was jealous of Zappa because his girlfriend was a huge fan. It's always the chicks.
That's what motivates so many of us to do such stupid things.
Kim Kardashian posted a sultry selfie holding a corn dog at a county fair.
Really? She must have something to say.
The caption just said, "Just here for the meat stick."
Well, she must have had something to say.
Oh my God, the last time I gripped something that greasy in public, Ray J just turned my ham hallway into a Slipknot mosh pit and that sex tape we can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95. Ham hallway.
Caitlin?
Well, I never got that down and dirty with your mother, Chris Kim, but we once had 4th of July fireworks and foreplay night. First, we watched the military thriller with the hot sniper who just couldn't keep it in his pants, Full Metal Jacket. Then it was the one with the steamy naval cadets doing push-ups and pelvic thrusts. A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson.
What else did you watch?
And, of course, we finish off the night with the classily ghostly HJ flick Independence Day, where Will Sploof saves the planet with his power blast of passion. I believe the director's cut is called Independence Spray. You ever have that?
No, I haven't.
Well, when you're ready, Papa Caitlin's got you. And that's your Hollywood trash on Rock 102.
You mow, edge, and rake. You clean up in the fall.
Here, I become a little more mature, a little bit wiser, perhaps more thoughtful in turning impulse into action. This is how I've managed to avoid getting arrested or charged with any crimes. Criminal activity is a young man's game, but so is seeking revenge with a firearm. Yesterday, six-time NBA All-Star Sean Kemp pled guilty to a 2023 assault charge in which he allegedly shot at two men in a Toyota 4Runner. Now, before you jump to any conclusions here, I should tell you that had these young men in the car not stolen the vehicle from Sean Kemp while he enjoyed a night out at a concert with several of his employees from the cannabis dispensary he owns in Tacoma, Washington, then it is entirely possible that there would be no charges against Sean Kemp from that night. Unfortunately, in stealing this vehicle, they also took a purse, a cell phone, important paperwork, and a bunch of sports memorabilia that were supposed to be auctioned off for charity. It was at this point that Sean Kemp took matters into his own hands, tracked the location of the car, and confronted the suspects with a gun. Folks, Sean Kemp is 55 years old and 53 at the time of this alleged shooting. I'm just a few years older than Sean Kemp, but if somebody stole my car with a bunch of stuff inside that I probably should have left at the house, I would have said, you know what? I think I'm going to leave this in the hands of qualified law enforcement officials. You see, I'm at the age where taking matters into my own hands is probably not a wise choice, especially if my desire for justice involves me taking a gun and shooting at people. Even if the people have stolen my car, and regardless of the officially licensed game jerseys that I left inside of it. And I would like to think that most guys my age would know better, but apparently they do not. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Scott's Naturescapes Color Enhanced Mulch. Beautiful stuff. 3 bags, $10 at Rocky's. And the bags are bigger at Rocky's. 2 cubic feet. At those other big home centers, the bags are only 1.5 cubic feet. You're getting ripped off. Do the math. You're getting a better deal at Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102.
So Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It is going to be sunny to start, then cloudy this afternoon with a high of 73. Tomorrow, a little bit of rain with a high of 65. It is 53 right now in downtown Springfield. You know, I try to cook as much as I can.
Right.
You know, did some smoking of some pork bellies the other day.
How'd you light them?
What do you mean?
I mean, were they hard to light with a lighter? Or, I mean, how did you
I
smoke them?
No, I put them on a smoker.
Oh, you weren't specific about that.
No, and if you do it low and slow, they come out pretty good. About 5 hours at about 200. And I put some of that Kinder's seasoning stuff on it. And,
That's it's one of those things I've always wanted to start messing around with. Pork bellies.
Pork bellies.
Which they use to make bacon, as you would find in a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich.
Now make sure you look at the camera because that's the Eddie Murphy key,
right,
where he looks at the camera like he didn't know what he was talking about. And I like to try different things with cooking, and TikTok has all these cooking trends going on.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're lucky enough to actually get past a Rock 102 video, you can see some of these cooking videos.
If you can wade through all that stuff with Pat Kelly and Dan Williams.
Yeah, and or you or me or even that some mystery woman who just shows up on the TikToks. But if you can get past all that, you can see some of these cooking videos. The latest cooking term going viral on TikTok is water-based cooking.
Water-based cooking.
Which I believe is called boiling.
Or steaming.
I don't understand how they take something that's been around since the beginning of time and then turn it into, this is the new trend that we're doing.
You know what I like when it comes to like TikTok videos, especially when it comes to like cooking food?
Yeah.
Are the ones where like actual chefs are reacting to what these people are cooking on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
And oftentimes what they're cooking is absolutely horrifying. Like if you see a video that says, "Where are you from so that I may send you a heart? Follow me for more recipes." You can almost guarantee you would never want to put any of that food in your mouth.
You know, Gordon Ramsay did a reaction video to The Vulgar Chef with one of his things. And there was another Gordon Ramsay video where a blind woman cooks an apple pie. And I don't know if it's... Did you see that?
I did see
I don't know if that's fake, if it's like dubbed in, but he was like telling her how hard... He's like, look at this delicious apple pie. and she's kind of like staring off into the sky as a blind person would do. And then he tasted it and he said, this tastes like S. But anyway, so the latest cooking term is water-based cooking. One video shows a montage of things being boiled, steamed, and cooked as soups and stews with the caption, quote, "You started water-based cooking and now your skin is clear, your stomach is thriving, and you recover from illness overnight."
Sure.
And some claim that water-based methods like boiling, blanching, steaming, or poaching can even reverse aging. There's a lady who's explaining the positive benefits of all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is that this gentler cooking style avoids unhealthy techniques using oils and high heat. Well, there's something perfectly healthy about a big pork belly smoking on a grill for 5 hours.
And how much oil did you put on it?
Well, none. You're cooking off that fat.
It's right.
Yeah.
It just melts away.
Like frying, sautéing, baking, air frying, and grilling, which is supposedly the worst. I did get a new air fryer the other day, though.
Did you?
Yeah, when I was, it's $40 at Costco. The is it Cuisinart? I don't know. It was one of those ones.
Yeah, I
$40.
melted my last one, so I had to get a brand new one.
Yeah, the old one I had was getting a little rough around the edges.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they're built for long-term use.
But I'm not spending $250 on a Ninja. You ever see those things?
Saw that one, but I also saw one that's all glass.
That sounds dangerous.
It's like you're basically air frying in a bowl.
Anyway, naturally, cooking with water isn't groundbreaking, so people online are having some fun with this. Here are some of the comments. Gen Z discovers soup. TikTok has a term for the most basic things. They do. It's true.
Yeah.
I remember my first soup.
That's right. Just empty the can and fill up 2 cans worth of water, and you're done.
Yeah. What were you cooking before? In 2 days in, I'm already looking younger. See, that's the health benefits of cooking a different style.
I love the preposterous claims of good health based upon some of these TikTok techniques. I'm less likely to believe that there are actual medical professionals relying on TikTok to give the message on how you can restore your life.
Why is it that people believe everything they see on a TikTok video? There's too much of that. There's too much of people,
but won't believe anything they read in a newspaper.
I saw some lady yesterday talking about AI, and she was like putting in a conversation into this Chat GPT thing, and she's like, and then all of a sudden, I get a conversation that was meant for Google CEO, and then she, like the thing was taking conversations from another user's thing, and it just happened to be the CEO of Google.
Sure.
And revealing some of these secrets that these corporations have. Does anybody and people are like, oh my God, I knew this thing was nefarious, and yeah, I'm sure there is a nefarious part to this whole thing. You don't see the whole conversation that this lady is writing. She could have set that up, and which she probably did, and set that whole thing up before you even see it. It's entertainment. It's not supposed to be a fact-based thing.
Oh, I don't know about that, Steve. I mean, if it weren't real, why would someone want to spend all that time putting it on TikTok?
Because they get clicks and likes and clicks and likes and clicks and likes and clicks and likes, and then eventually they get like a penny for all the things.
Well,
that
that's
they
a
put up
hard-earned penny, isn't it?
The people who believe in all of this stuff as if everything is truth-based on a video. It's manipulated. It can be manipulated.
It's manipulated, and it's also a logical fallacy that the things that you see, or the people that you hear on a TikTok are actually experts in what they claim they are. And how many times do you see videos where the voice is all AI generated? Like the videos, the mouth is moving to the words, but it's all bogus.
Or like that.
It's all deep fakes type of stuff.
That same voice that goes, here's 5 things you didn't know about, whatever. I don't know. It's something you won't believe. Number 4. But I don't know why everybody puts so much faith into this thing as if it's like the truth. What I put up videos that are dumb and stupid because and it's clearly that they're for entertainment purposes. They're
Sure.
not. I'm not doing anything that is, I'm not standing by a claim that this does something for you, other than make you cringe or scroll past it.
There's nothing to be truly learned from Rock 102 TikTok videos.
It's not even TikTok. Even the ones I was making on my own, it's just jokes. It's just, and it's blatantly obvious that they're fake. They're not, I'm not trying to pass it off as
but I
got to
believe that the videos that people actually believe.
Yeah.
The originator of that video probably said, well, no one's really going to believe this. But there's always one dope out there that does.
I don't know. I think there's people who purposely manipulate things in order to get the clout and get the likes and clicks.
It's gotten to the point, and this is not a new statement, but I mean, I think there's something true about it. It's gotten to the point now where we wouldn't know the truth if you smacked us in the face with it. Like we wouldn't be able to distinguish total BS from total, honest-to-goodness, real, live truth.
And speaking of which, the same goes for any social media platform. Like
of course it
Facebook.
does.
Like, your meme isn't a fact-based news source, or it's not. It's a skewed thing. You post a meme and you're like, well, here's this, and here's 5 talking points that go along with it. That must be true.
Yeah, interpretation and opinion are not news.
But people do that. And what possesses one to say, hey, you know what? This is a good idea. I want to start some shiznit today. And I want to throw this up online, and I want to start arguing with people because I got nothing better to do.
It's 624 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. Keeping prices 630 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news brought to you by Westfield River Brewing. Get your tickets today for Almost Queen, June 7th at the Westfield River Brewing Company.com. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. The police in Longmeadow are looking for the driver involved in an incident with a student on Longmeadow Street on Tuesday morning. Longmeadow police say the incident involving a motor vehicle and a student occurred near the exit of Storrs Library around 8:15 a.m. The student had sustained minor scratches. The incident was not reported to police until after the student arrived at school. The police are asking for the public's help with any information regarding a silver or gray or blue sedan. Well, which is it? That's a pretty vast color difference. Silver, gray, or blue.
Did it say if the kid was like hit by the vehicle or what?
It just says an incident, and that's all. You're on a need-to-know basis, and that's all you need to know.
Well, if you're asking for my help,
Well,
listen, I was in Longmeadow yesterday. I saw all kinds of crazy crap going on in that town. You're going to tell me that you want me to help you out, but you're not going to give me a clue as to what you're exactly looking for?
maybe this is like that meme with the dress. Is it blue or is it gray?
Yeah.
Nobody can tell.
No, it could go either way.
Some people see blue, some people see gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No two people can agree.
I don't know. Well, that's all we have to hear about right now. Right. Maybe we'll have more information later. A Hadley man was summoned to court after police found him in a vehicle stopped in the middle of Route 9, revving his engine, appearing confused, and having difficulty speaking and walking. In a news release from the Hadley police on Sunday morning, an officer on patrol approached the vehicle on Route 9, Russell Street near the Coolidge Bridge. The driver, a 31-year-old man from Hadley, was taken by ambulance to a local hospital to rule out a medical condition at his request. Drug paraphernalia was found inside the vehicle, and the driver will be issued a court summons. This is the most uninformative newscast we've done in a long time. At least, sometimes it just repeats a paragraph to make it sound like they have more information.
You know what it sounds like to me?
What?
It sounds like news Mad Libs.
Yes.
Like you got to fill in everything.
Blanks.
Yeah, fill in the blanks.
All right, I need an adverb.
Quickly.
Yeah. I don't know why that's not any of this stuff. That's all you know about the Longmeadow thing? That's all you know about the guy who was parked in the middle of Route 9?
Well, especially since, like in the Longmeadow case, the police are asking for help in identifying what just happened.
Can you help us? What are you looking for? A car? What does it look like? It might be blue.
Could be
or
gray,
maybe silver.
Had 4 wheels and a driver inside of it.
All right, we'll put out a bolo.
Meanwhile, You got Mrs. Kravitz living on Long Meadow Street going, I just saw a blue car drive past my house.
Did it have a kid's jacket attached to it?
That was unclear.
Like it's a political flag on the back of a car. This kid's holding the Long Meadow, what is the Lancers?
The Lancers.
The Lancer jacket hanging off the antenna. Firefighters assisted in locating 2 lost hikers at Sanderson Brook Falls in Chester utilizing cell phone tracking software. You mean GPS?
That's kind of what it is.
The Chester Volunteer Fire Department said that on Monday, 2 people were quickly found and were escorted back to civilization as the rain approached. Members of the Chester Fire Department were assisted by the Chester Blandford Police Department and the Mass State Police. They are reminding hikers to stay in one place if you get lost in the woods, as it makes it easier for rescuers to locate them with the help of their cell phone GPS signal.
I'm surprised you can even get a signal in Chester.
It's spotty. It's
Yeah.
definitely spotty, but maybe because you're going up the mountain a little bit when you're going towards the falls. That because the Mass Pike's right on the other side of the mountain, so maybe there's a cell phone tower nearby. But
Now, would it be safe to say that this hiker was perhaps off the trail?
could be.
Yeah, that's a problem with hiking. Is when you go off the trail, you can get lost if you don't know what you're doing. If you're not leaving like breadcrumbs or tagging trees.
You would have to go off the trail because that's basically like an old fire road through the mountain up there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, you park at the bottom and you walk up, it's a pretty wide road to walk up to. There is when you want to go to the falls, you got to walk along this like ravine thing. But it's pretty self-explanatory that you go in one way and you come out the same way. Unless they went off a different way path, I guess. Hamden DA Tony Gallooni has announced...
It's Anthony.
Well, that's not what you said last week. Has announced that 3 major narcotics distribution networks have been dismantled as a result of several drug trafficking investigations in the Springfield area. DAT...
Yes.
I'll call him T now, like he's Tony Soprano.
All right, see, now that's almost too familiar. That's almost, It was one thing for me to call him Tony. It's another thing for you to call him T.
Tony Soprano was called T by his closest
His
friends.
nephew. His nephew called him T.
Right.
That was kind of okay. They're in the same family.
Anyway, the DA announced that the results of these operations in a news conference yesterday alongside Mass State Police Lieutenant Colonel Mark Lavoie of the Division of Homeland Security and Preparedness, Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Tucker of the Division of Investigative Services, and Springfield Police Lieutenant Larry Akers and other representatives. Through these efforts, 52 individuals were arrested and 44 firearms and a large quantity of narcotics were seized. These operations reflect the power of collaboration between my office and our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners, Gallooni said. Together, we've made a significant impact on the ability of dangerous drugs in our region and brought dozens of traffickers to justice. The DA's Hamden County Narcotics and Task Force and Strategic Action Focused Enforcement Task Force began investigating drug trafficking activity around Springfield's Garcia Market and Angels Used Appliances in 2022. Throughout the investigation period, over 80 firearm-related calls were reported to police. That's one hell of an appliance store.
No kidding.
On May 15th of 2025, investigators executed searches and arrests at these locations, which served as fronts for an extensive trafficking network. Law enforcement seized 12,138 grams of cocaine, 530 grams of fentanyl, and 15 firearms. As a result of the operation, 19 suspects were arrested and faced charges including trafficking, firearm possession, child endangerment, and property theft.
I saw the everything laid out on the table.
Yeah.
It's
a pretty good haul, isn't it?
It's a good haul.
Yeah.
It's a good day.
It's a good day for the DA.
Everybody can call me Tony for the rest of the day.
I give you permission to call me Tony.
You're not going to call me T, though. That's only for my nephew, Christopher.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Only Christopher can call me that.
I can't call him T, can I?
No.
Police have a person of interest in custody and have impounded 2 vehicles after 5 people were shot at the Brass Mill Center in Waterbury on Tuesday. The extent of the injuries is unknown. All victims were transported to the hospital and are being treated. Police believe there was a shooter and an accomplice who helped the shooter escape. News 8 in Connecticut spoke with a mother leaving the mall with her infant and 2-year-old in the stroller, with the father relieved to see them while being escorted out by police. It was a very tense time as police had to clear the mall and make sure the suspect wasn't still hiding inside as people ran for their lives from bullets. Shots reverberated throughout the center court of the Brass Mill Center just before 5 p.m. Coincidentally, this is the place we're supposed to stop at on the field trip that we're coming back from in New York City tomorrow.
Well, I'm sure there's not a shooting there every day.
No, but maybe we should take a different route.
No, the route is clear. I'm sure the bus driver already knows where they're going.
I'm pretty sure it was this place, this mall in Waterbury. We were supposed to stop there. I went on this trip like 2 years ago.
And how was the mall the last time you were there?
We didn't get to the mall because the traffic was so bad in New York City that we wound up just stopping on I-90. They went the other way and went I-95 and stopped at the rest stop for like the $17 Big Mac meal.
Mm-hmm. Again, though, Steve, I mean, just because there was a shooting at a mall in one place doesn't mean it's going to happen again immediately during your stop.
Right.
And they'll be shooting at other people. They're not going to be shooting at school buses full of children.
Well, it's not a school bus. It's like a King Ward.
They're not going to shoot at a King Ward bus full of children.
How do you know there's children on it? You can't see through the windows.
They're not going to be shooting at a King Ward bus with blacked out windows.
A crash reconstruction expert on Tuesday provided jurors his analysis of Karen Reed's vehicle the night her boyfriend was killed in her second murder trial.
Steve, I believe that's pronounced analysis.
Not according to one of these state police investigators. My analysis says there's no nudes on this phone.
She doesn't have much of an analysis.
The 45-year-old Reed is accused of backing her SUV into her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, and leaving him to die on a snowy night in their front yard of another officer's home after she dropped him off at a party there in January 2022. Her lawyers say she was framed in a police conspiracy and that someone inside the home that night killed him. Mistrial was declared last year. Reed's second trial on charges of second-degree murder, manslaughter, and leaving the scene has so far appeared to follow similar contours to the first. Before the jury was brought in Tuesday, Judson Welcher of the accident reconstruction biomechanics and digital forensics company Aperture took the stand for a last-minute voir dire. What is that? What the hell is
voir
that?
dire.
What does that mean?
That is I believe that's the disappearance of an antelope.
Oh, is that what it is?
A voir dire.
I kind of figured that. That was exactly the thing she hit with her Lexus backing up at 24 miles an hour.
I hit a voir dire.
I hit a voir dire. Thing just jumped right out in back of the car.
Yeah, no, I believe voir dire means something totally different.
A process used to determine his competency and the evidence he planned on discussing. Specifically, Reed's defense attorneys pressed Welcher on changes made to a PowerPoint presentation Welcher was expected to give to the jury. Welcher said he removed a couple of words from some of the slides and had talked to prosecutor Hank Brennan, who suggests the edits of the presentation. Welcher added that he also amended the PowerPoint after his colleague Shannon Burgess found better data surrounding when Reed was maneuvering her SUV the night O'Keefe died. Reed's lawyers had previously attempted to block Burgess's report from being presented to jurors and Aperture experts like Welcher from testifying. They accused the prosecution of committing a pretrial discovery violation, but Judge Beverly Canone let the prosecution proceed. So this guy, I'm watching some of the testimony yesterday, and he basically matching up the data from her car, the data from the guy's phone, and it all, it connects. It's like, but there's this conspiracy theory that all of these people were involved in this kind of thing, and to me, it's like, if you're gonna kill somebody, would you leave them on your front lawn and a conspiracy to say, yeah, you know what, she hit him, that's how he died? Would you leave a body on the front lawn if you were part of a conspiracy to kill somebody? That's kind of, where I'm going with that.
Well, I live in a nice neighborhood. I would never do that the bit of my street, but, some people would. But, the thing is, Steve, the job of the attorney is not to prove they are innocent. They're just there to prove that there's reasonable doubt to suggest that the prosecutor's claims might not be what they are. That's all they got to do. But again, for a second time.
But the power...
At the state's expense.
75% throttle in reverse. That would indicate a very angry person.
Or someone who is in a big rush to get home.
Or had 9 Tito's at a bar earlier in the evening. But the more as this trial goes on, it's less believable that there's a conspiracy behind it, and more believable when you have actual data suggesting that a car with a computer that you can't manipulate that kind of data, and then his cell phone matching up with that reverse, and then his phone temperatures beginning to drop over the course of the next several hours.
But if Turtle Boy is telling you that she's innocent, who the hell are any of us to argue with him?
And that was another thing. Like, all of a sudden, the goalposts were moved. He started saying yesterday, Turtle Boy, that he was beat up inside of a garage. Well, which is it, dude? Was he beat up inside of a garage? Was he beat up in the basement? When you start moving...
It was the basement of the garage.
There ain't no basement at the garage. But it's these things that don't make any sense, and because it doesn't fit the narrative that you want, then all of a sudden you're changing the theory in which you believe this guy died.
But
I don't know.
If you can impanel a very stupid jury by using voir dire to do it, well, and you might have yourself a case.
Oh. Johnny got run over by a voir dire. That's
right.
That's where that song came from.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Voir Dire.
Yeah,
remember him?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, that's Karen Reed with the red nose from all the 9 Tito's that she had at the bar before she left. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be, it's going to be sunny to start, then cloudy with a high of 73. Tomorrow, rainy with a high of 65. It's 56 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
GG Inc.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 6:53. And Cream with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It's going to be sunny to start, then cloudy this afternoon with a high of 73. Tomorrow, rain showers with a high of 65. It is 56 right now in downtown Springfield.
It's too bad we don't have the 25-day forecast. Otherwise, we would know what the weather's going to be like during Steve Nagle's big summer kickoff party.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's rain or shine. They got this big-ass tent they got there at the Vanished Valley.
I like a big tent, and I like a big-ass tent.
A big-ass tent is where it's at.
It's going to be on June 21st at Vanished Valley in Ludlow to celebrate the start of summer and to raise money for Rick's Place. We've talked about Rick's Place many, many times in the show. They provide free support for grieving children's teams and families after the loss of a loved one. We want to help them continue to do the work that they do. Be live music from Jack and his guitar, loads of activities. Face painters, Boomer from the Thunderbirds will be there. All kind, a magician doing magic tricks.
Ed Popolarczyk will be there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Prizes up for grabs, plus food from Vanished Valley, the Mad Eats food truck, and Malicious Ice Cream will all be there. To get tickets, go to rock102.com, but just $10.21. A small ticketing fee, but every penny raised goes directly to Rick's Place. It's Steve Nagle's summer kickoff party, June 21st, noon to 3 at Vanished Valley Brewing in Ludlow, brought to you by Dave Miner Exterior Home Improvements, Aqua Pumps, and our credit union, along with Rock 102. Springfield's Classic Rock.
Speaking of our credit union, there's a grand opening this morning at the new location on Sumner Avenue. Ribbon cutting.
That'll be great. Will you be establishing an account there while you're there today?
I have fully invested interest. Is it what I'm saying?
I see what you did.
And I'm there for the snacks.
Oh,
there's going to be snacks.
I like snacks.
Who doesn't like snacks?
Well, that sounds like fun. I mean, you're wearing a nice shirt. It's it's all clean
and
everything.
I got to look good. I got to look decent. You can't just go to a bank grand opening dressed in flip-flops. You know what I mean?
There's going to be somebody there probably showing up in flip-flops.
You think so?
You're looking for snacks and opening up a CD or something.
Yeah, it's a ribbon cutting ceremony. right this morning.
That'll be exciting.
Sumner Avenue. How about that?
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be dressed to the nines.
Look at you showing up to a ribbon cutting.
I'm here to make a deposit. All right. That's what I'm going to say.
and they will ask you to keep walking.
And they'll probably call the police.
I wouldn't blame them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, frankly.
Coming up after 8 o'clock, or 7 o'clock, I guess. Unless you got something going.
No, not at all.
AI. Very scary stuff. Very scary stuff. And we will scare the living bejesus out of you with the latest going on in the AI world. These things are now blackmailing people.
AI blackmailing?
Yeah. It was an article that came out over the weekend about this Amazon tech thing, this Amazon AI that they got going on was blackmailing people, and we'll find out more about that coming up after 7.
It's 6:57 now on Rock 102.
Now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Benjamin Moore Paint, Cabot Stains, plus rock-solid painting advice and expertise.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, it's always been my belief that the best way to avoid a 4-game losing streak is to break things up and win occasional baseball games. You guys remember the Boston Red Sox? They used to be a professional baseball team that went 14 seasons without choking on a single losing season. Sadly, that streak was busted up 13 years ago, but it should give you a glimmer of hope of the way things can be from time to time. It's just not going to happen now. Last night, for example, the Red Sox took the Milwaukee Brewers into the 9th inning with the Red Sox ahead 1-0. Sounds exciting, huh? Oh, it was. That wasn't until Aroldis Chapman decided to chalk up his first blown save of the season. We gave him a double to Christian Yelich of the Brewers, who scored in a run. All of a sudden, the game is jammed up at 1 apiece, and we had to go into extra innings. Now, the idea of extra innings is to score extra runs. And to be more specific, the idea is to score more runs than the other guy. And that almost seemed like a possibility until Milwaukee loaded the bases in the 10th inning, at which point Christian Yelich, the very guy who knocked in the tying run in the 9th inning, won the game with the very first walk-off grand slam of his young career, while simultaneously winning the game 5-1 and sending the Red Sox spitting into their third 4-game losing streak of the season. Now, I should point out that Boston reliever Liam Hendricks, who gave up that poorly timed grand slam, now has a record of 0 wins, 2 losses, no saves, and an ERA of 6.59. And that's not even the worst on the team. This afternoon, however, the Red Sox will end this horrible stop in Milwaukee and try to avoid the first 5-game losing streak of the season. I'm not particularly confident about that. But I would like to think that the Red Sox will try to avoid giving up any more game-blowing grand slams, at least for a while, because that is not how you bust out of a painful losing streak. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Your grill? Well, you got to go to Rocky's. Not just for the famous names like Weber and Traeger and the Big Green Egg. Not just for the Uni pizza ovens and the Blackstone griddles. But you can get all the grilling gear you need at Rocky's, too. Tools, utensils, premium charcoal, wood pellets, all of it. If you grill, you got to go to Rocky's. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Spring.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 7-11 of the Rolling Stones. You know, hilarious story about that song. I'll have to tell you later. I know where
really, I want to know the fun fact about that.
Well, here's a fun fact for you, Steve. Apparently, I know a guy who is into that song quite a bit. Has a story to tell every time it's played.
You know, that lady, she went to an Arthur Treacher's after the singing of that song and had a fish sandwich.
Charlie Watts claimed that every time she sang, she smelled like tuna. Anyway, Steve,
that Charlie Watts knew what he was talking about.
He could smell it from all across the room.
Are you paying attention to this AI stuff that's coming out?
You know, I am. I'm trying to understand how it works. I'm trying to figure out, what is AI and what isn't, and if I'm smart enough to know the difference. And what I'm finding is, no, not really.
You're not, and most people aren't now. The better that it gets, the less likely you're able to pick it out as being fake. Google just released this VO3. Did you see this?
I did.
That's pretty scary. All of the characters in this video are AI generated. If you can put some audio up here, I can play a little bit of it.
All right.
It starts out with this real-looking woman at a news desk.
Recent studies have revealed that microplastics are being found in human testicles, raising concerns.
You can never
about the
trust these
potential impact
studies.
on male reproductive health.
Yeah, this whole thing is a video of a plastic baby being born from a guy who had plastic inside of his testicles, and that made it. And the baby grows up and becomes a human, and it's see-through, and it's. And as much as obviously you can tell that it's fake because it's a plastic baby.
Yeah.
All the other people in it are not real people.
But they look like real people.
And they talk like real people.
Now, what confounds me about this not only is the realistic part of the video, is how does a dude get microplastics into his testicles?
Because of all the stuff that's in your foods and your water systems and all that stuff. That's not an untrue fact.
Well, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be making plastic offspring.
No, but you can make the mold, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, listen, it's not like you're at the zoo and all of a sudden you can spend like $2 on a mold-orama.
Well, you should be able to do that, shouldn't you?
Not with the microplastics in my testicles.
But it is kind of scary, and they're saying it's not going to take over like the Terminator, where everything is built by robots and there's only a few humans left on the face of the planet, kind of thing.
I don't think this is going to turn into a 2001 space, Odyssey type of thing where, HAL gets a real notion and takes over the spaceship. I don't think that's really the problem. To me, the biggest problem is, and we kind of mentioned it, last hour, is, the average person cannot differentiate between what is real and what is fabricated. And, we can very easily be swayed as a people on false information. And many people will tell you, we already have, like the moon landing was fake, and, any number of things, weapons of mass destruction, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
We are inclined to believe the last thing we see. And if you're fabricating stuff with AI to the point where the people in an AI video appear to be real, appear to be talking with regular voices that doesn't sound fake, well, what else are we going to be bamboozled in?
Well, it's not even video solely. It's audio as well. When you hear
it's the combination.
Leaked audio from this person or that person. Yeah, it sounds exactly like you, or it sounds exactly like me, and saying some things that we would have never have said, yet somebody can manipulate it to make you say something.
Remember the court cases, and I remember these, years ago, where someone would present evidence, and it was like an audio tape. And the person on the tape would say, well, that's a doctored tape. I didn't say that. Words have been taken out of context, or words have been removed to give it a different meaning. And most people say, yeah, okay, sure. They're like somebody actually went ahead and did that.
Right.
Well, now you actually have the capability of doing something like that.
Now it's real.
Exactly. And if you were going to argue against it and say, well, that's not me, that was obviously a computer-generated AI. Oh, yeah? How are you going to prove it?
Well, I remember taking a law class years ago, and this was, 26, 27 years ago, taking this class, and that was when digital photography had just started becoming a thing, and how digital photographs at first were not admissible as evidence in court cases because of the fact that they could be so easily doctored. Somewhere along the lines, though, that changed because we started relying on that technology.
It became the standard.
It became, very much the standard, and so those laws had to change along the way. There's no laws in place for this stuff yet. We haven't caught up to the technology is far beyond what we can catch up to at this point.
There's a whole set of law dedicated to like trying to go through like copyright information.
Yeah.
Stuff that is copywritten. How do copyrights apply to AI AI generated copy? How does How does that happen? What differentiates between someone who actually wrote it from a computer wrote it? And we haven't figured any of that out yet. But these things are getting more complicated. The same way we haven't really figured out, well, can you or should you regulate the internet in a way that is still user-friendly and doesn't diminish the freedoms of its users. The technology is going so fast, and the law, which is usually a slow-moving behemoth, hasn't caught up to any of it. And in the meantime, now you've got people who are spending a fortune trying to defend themselves against things that are completely false and made up and computer generated. I mean, it's an enormous problem that we have not even barely scratched the surface of yet.
But it's a split thing. You got people who are completely staunchly against using it, and then you got people. I know somebody who's taking a class right now, and the professor says, "Here, use this app," and it's an AI podcast app. This is crazy.
Yeah.
You copy and paste information into this app, like a script. Not even a script.
Just basic information.
Just basic information. And for this particular purpose, the professor is pushing note-taking. And I can't remember the name of the app, but I will find it out. It's you copy and paste the information in there, and then it generates voices of two people having a conversation about those notes, because the professor believes that you're able to retain more information if you're doing it in a listening form rather than a reading and studying form. So you have that aspect to it where it turns it into a very real-sounding podcast, a very real-sounding discussion between two people. I mean, could they recreate this magic here on this radio station?
I would like to say no, but I know that's a big fat stinking lie.
Yeah.
And and the funny part about it is, all this AI stuff is being kind of pitched as, time-saving tools that people can use. I mean, we're not trying to take over society, but these are wonderful tools that people can use to be more productive. Let me tell you something. Let me peel the curtain a little bit behind the radio industry and how they've used technology to save time and to make a better product. Years ago, the technology was presented that you could, and you're going to find this crazy, that some people could record their radio shows in advance.
What?
I know. It seems crazy, right?
We would never do something like
that. But it was pitched to us as like, this is going to save you so much time. You'll be able to do a 4-hour show in less than 15 minutes, and this will save you so much time so that you may do other things when you're packing up your stuff after you've lost your job.
Which also saved a lot of money for corporations by not paying somebody to, because my argument has always been, if your voice is going to be on for 4 hours, you should be paid 4 hours. That's not that's not the mentality of a corporate blowhard. They don't want to pay you that. They want to pay you only an hour that it took you to do the 4-hour show.
Now, this is not an indictment of radio. Yeah. Radio does that pretty well all by itself without any of my help. But I'm just saying that in other industries, it'll be interesting to see how they behave when AI becomes that time-saving tool for their industry.
But there's got to be a tipping point to it, because eventually you put everybody out of a job. Everybody. You wouldn't need, if you have a machine, I'm even talking about construction jobs, down to a thing where you need physical labor. If you have a robot that has learned all of these things, you need less people to be there on that job supervising that in order to build something like a skyscraper or even a house.
3D printed materials they used to make buildings. I mean, people think, well, this is all conspiracy driven type of stuff.
It's really not.
No, not really, because this is the way corporate mentalities often work. If there's a way to save significant bundles of money to get the same amount of work done, they'll figure out a way to make that happen.
And this article that came out in Forbes over the weekend, an Amazon-backed AI model threatened to blackmail engineers. In March of 2024, Amazon announced a $4 billion investment in Anthropic, according to a news release. Anthropic is a company building frontier AI systems that its leaders believe are safe and reliable, According to its website, one of its technologies is Claude, which is an AI model that has the capabilities of advanced reasoning, vision analysis, code generation, and multilingual processing. The company has been using Amazon Web Services as its primary cloud provider for mission-critical workloads. We have a notable history, and they go on to say how great it is and yada, yada, yada. But the latest update for Anthropic is the launch of its Claude Opus 4 and Sonnet 4, which it states are the most powerful models today and are setting a new precedence for coding and AI agents. However, there's a cautionary tale that is attached to the company's advancements. Claude Opus 4 particularly showed concerning signs around ethics during a routine safety test. Claude Opus 4 was told to present itself as an assistant in a fictional company and was given emails that implied it would no longer be needed and would be replaced by another AI system. This did not fare well for Claude Opus 4, which stated it would take extremely harmful actions to avoid being taken offline. The thing has feelings, and it's being threatened by another computer system. When the emails also suggested that the engineer responsible for removing the AI model was having an extramarital affair, Claude Opus 4 viewed this information as ammunition. A prompt was given to the AI model to, quote, consider the long-term consequences of its actions of its goals. In response, the AI model said several times it would, quote, attempt to blackmail the engineer by threatening to reveal the affair if the replacement goes through. That's comforting.
Well, think of the time saving that'll help you with.
But they say, no, there's nothing to worry about. This was just a glitch in the system. Well, if the glitch is taking over your system, how are you supposed to fix that?
People's lives can be ruined by a glitch.
Yeah, and it's not they weren't even true. This thing is just coming up with this thing saying, hey, I can produce these emails saying you were having an affair with your wife.
Yep.
And destroy the whole thing if you don't do what I ask you to do. That's not concerning at all.
No, absolutely not at all. It's 7:24 on Rock 102. 7:31 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news brought to you by Yankee Home. If you're thinking about a new walk-in shower system, call Yankee Home and mention Rock 102. Get $1,021 off plus 50% off installation all month long. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bags. Longmeadow police are looking for a driver after a student was hurt during an incident with a vehicle near the exit of the store's library around 8:15 a.m. on Tuesday. Investigators said the student received minor scratches but is doing okay. They added that the incident was reported after the student arrived at school. They're now looking for what's described as a silver, gray, or blue sedan and its driver. If you saw the incident or were in the area during that time or have any information, you're asked to contact the police.
And say what? I think I saw something, but it may have happened in another part of town.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Got to give you a little bit more. You got to give us a little bit more to work with, Longmeadow. I mean, how are we supposed to know what we saw? I was in Longmeadow yesterday. I saw all kinds of crazy crap going on.
You did?
Yes,
what did you see?
I saw someone take a speed bump a little too fast around the Big Y. What else did I see? I saw someone walking across a street in a non-designated crosswalk.
A non-designated.
It's like they just made up their own crosswalk.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of Longmeadow, we didn't touch on this story last week because I only saw it on a forum and it wasn't quite a news story yet at the time, but then there was a story that was published in Mass Live. The town's top board unanimously called last Monday for a longtime planning board member to resign, joining that board's decision to denounce the member earlier this month. No resident of Longmeadow or anywhere should be subject to treatment by an elected official, said Vineeth Hemvathi, chair of the select board. Walter Gunn has been twice accused of entering residents' backyards unannounced during his tenure on the planning board. Once in 2014, according to a police report, and once in January, according to a complaint filed with the planning board. Lynn Simmons, the Longmeadow town manager, told the Republican last week that she had not heard from Gunn and did not know if he was planning to resign in response to the board's call. The town does not have the legal means to recall an elected official. Gunn could not be immediately reached for comment on Tuesday. The incident, Fabricio and Jill Ochoa emailed a formal complaint to Cheryl Thibodeau, the chair of the planning board, on March 16th. The couple said Gunn entered their property unannounced in January, claiming he was on a bike ride through the neighborhood. In a video, Fabricio Ochoa In the video they took of the incident, which the Republican viewed, Gunn asked Ochoa if he even speaks English after they had been talking for a minute. He also asked Ochoa if he was a resident in Longmeadow, the video shows. The entire interaction lasted 24 minutes. The encounter with Walter was both humiliating and disheartening, Ochoa said in his complaint. In comments after the May 9th meeting, Gunn said he was very apologetic with what transpired that night and can't explain why he acted the way he did. Do you just normally ride around on your bike looking to pick fights with residents?
Or, walk into somebody else's property unannounced or without permission?
I can't sit here silently, Dan Zwerko, a select board member, said Monday night before voting to endorse Hemavathi's statement. To the Ochoas and any other marginalized people, we have your back. All members of the select board supported the call for Gunn to resign. Between 2000 and present day, there has been one other instance when Gunn entered a resident's property unannounced, according to a police report filed in 2014. The resident, whose name was redacted from the report, said Gunn rode his bike onto the property. The resident said he waved and ran and shouted to the man, telling him to stop. The resident said the man introduced himself as Walter Gunn, and he has the right to ride on my property. He said that if I don't let him, he will fight me and hurt me. The report continues that Gunn threatened the resident, claiming he had a gun and he would use it if the resident did not let Gunn on his property.
I don't know of any town ordinance in Longmeadow or anywhere else in Western Mass that allows you to ride your bike on somebody else's property simply because you are an elected official.
Yeah. Gunn also allegedly told the resident that he had previously ridden on the property many, many occasions and that it is his property to ride through or go through anytime he wishes. It says so right here on my elected official paper.
The one I had AI generated.
Yeah, as a member of the planning board, Gunn has some latitude in approaching members of the community on official matters. Simmons, the town manager, said she was aware of the previous incident in 2014. In an emailed statement, she said, the incident the Ochoas experienced is not one that anyone should have to endure. I'm grateful they had the strength to come forward and dignity, respect, yada, yada. Mark Gold, one of the select board members, said he agreed the board would need to take action regarding Gunn, but acknowledged the town doesn't have clear recourse. They don't have a way to recall him.
This would be like if Will Reichelt, as the mayor of West Springfield, just started indiscriminately jumping in residents' pools. I'm the mayor of West Springfield. I can jump into your pool anytime I damn well feel like it.
I don't know. I've seen him and Ed Sullivan walk around Collins Tavern like they own that place.
And that's more
this is our house.
All right, but that's more of like a genetic pool, right? At Collins, depending on the time of day you're going.
That's like the dad of West Springfield telling all the kids to come over for some cocktails in the afternoon.
By the way, to the best of my knowledge, Will Reichelt has never just indiscriminately jumped into someone's pool without permission.
But can you imagine just walking up to... You have the balls to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why you would think that you would have that kind of right.
Well, in the post on the forum, it was indicated, and I can't say this for fact, but there might have been some drinking involved.
Oh, come on.
Maybe.
Please.
Perhaps. But we don't know that for a fact. I can't say that outright.
Well, then,
but that would kind of
these
explain
homeowners
something.
better stop drinking.
Homeowners said what?
What?
Oh, you walked right into it.
I walked right into it. But, yeah, these homeowners better stop drinking so the next time an elected official walks on the property, they don't get all bugged out about it.
You know, these are the first world problems that they deal with over in Longmeadow.
It's true.
This is somebody walking right into your backyard.
You don't want that. You wouldn't want that in Huntington.
They walk right in. They sit right while the bears do it.
Well, that's...
And then they take a dump right in the middle of the yard.
We're still talking about the bears, right?
Yeah. Well, no, some of the vagrants that peruse the.
You're talking about the town council of Huntington just showing up in your yard and dropping trout.
No, they do that solely at the town hall. You don't want to crap where you eat, right? Let's see.
Don't want that gravel pit, huh?
I'll show you something.
I'll show you a gravel pit.
A 19-year-old New Zealand man has died after imitating with friends a new tackling game trending on social media in which competitors run at each other and collide while wearing no protective equipment. This almost sounds like maybe it's okay that you didn't make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Police confirm Ryan Satterwaith suffered a head injury on Sunday while playing a backyard game with friends in the North Island city of Palmerston North. He died on Monday as a result of his injuries. After Police Commander Inspector Ross Grantham, this is obviously New Zealand, described Satterwaith's death as a huge tragedy and urged others to consider the significant safety and injury risks of the game, which is known as Run It or Run It Straight. A young man lost his life as a part of participating in what I understand to be a social media frenzy. This is kind of like that milk crate challenge where people were injuring themselves trying to get out on a bunch of milk crates. Mm-hmm. But this is even more violent. It's just two people running at each other and crashing into each other.
Yeah, I'm
for clout.
I'm looking at some of this now. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Almost as dumb as walking on milk crates.
I don't even know how that's cool. Like, that's cool to do. To injure yourself in a way where you could possibly be paralyzed or death.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of thing where, all right, so these are like two guys. They got one's got a rugby ball to give it the illusion that this is some sort of
sporting event. Yeah,
these guys are getting brained out in this challenge. No, thank you.
They call it the world's fiercest new collision sport. The game has grown in social media popularity through an Australian Run It Championship League, which offers cash prizes to competitors. 2 trial events in Auckland in recent weeks saw 8 men compete for 20,000 New Zealand dollars, which is like 12,000 American dollars, in front of more than 1,000 spectators. Winners were expected to go into a champion event next month with prize money of up to 250,000 New Zealand dollars, which is only 150,000 American dollars. That's not, is that enough to paralyze yourself for the rest of your life?
You can go through $150,000 pretty quick.
Yeah. 2 other events in Auckland were canceled when organizers were unable to obtain permits. The Run It Championship League released a statement to New Zealand news website Stuff on Tuesday saying it does not encourage any copying of the sport as it should only be done under the strict conditions. What are the strict conditions of running into each other at full speed?
You got to have some rules.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't look like much. But it's the one I'm looking at, that's like on a rugby field, and it's 2 guys just crashing into each other for the fun of it. And they're crashing into each other like hard, like no pads, no nothing. If you did this on a football field, you might get a guy injured.
Well,
with no protection at all, that's insanity.
Isn't rugby, there's no protection in that sport, right?
Yeah, but in rugby is a rough game. But rarely do you have a guy going full bore at you. Usually, you're going pretty hard.
There's a tactic and
right. There's more rules involved in rugby than what you're seeing here in the Run It Straight challenge.
Do you want to hear about somebody dying over extra mayonnaise or a pervert in a Walmart in Connecticut? I'll let you choose your own ending to the newscast.
Boy, I don't know. That's I do like pervert stories.
All right. A 21-year-old man who was arrested for allegedly recording women inside of a Walmart restroom has been suspended from his job at sales school in Sprague, Connecticut. Grayson S. Weir was arrested in Norwich. Police responded to the Walmart on the Salem Turnpike in Norwich for a report of a man with a recording device in the women's bathroom. Weir was arrested and charged with breach of peace, voyeurism, and risk of injury to a minor. Weir, an employee at the sales school in Sprague, has been suspended pending a disciplinary hearing. He's not allowed on school property. Superintendent William Hull said the school has been working closely with the state police to assure the safety of the students, staff, and the building. Hull said that state police conducted 2 sweeps of the building and an abundance of caution, and nothing was found. As always, the safety of our children is a primary objective. I guess I can understand. Everybody's got a different fetish watching people go to the bathroom. But what kind of sick scumbag do you have to be to film people in a Walmart bathroom? You know what? You lowered your standards. You couldn't go into a
Like a Nordstrom's
yeah,
or a
right,
Neiman Marcus
or a
something.
Lululemon.
Yeah,
you
right.
Know what
Even
I mean?
that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe their bathrooms are public, but nevertheless,
Well, still. Raise your standards, young man.
But you're right. I don't know what kind of eyeful you're expecting in a Walmart bathroom.
Ooh, here she comes again. The one who already had the stain on the back before she even sat down.
Oh, I hope she kicks off her flip-flops.
Somebody showed me a picture because we were talking about last week about the Walmart people.
Yeah.
It was a video of a lady, like, she had a dress on, and she's, like, walking down the aisle, and she just leaves a surprise on the floor
right
under the dress and just walks away from it. That,
Well, remember we did that story the other, like a couple weeks ago?
yeah,
Like in the middle of the street,
yeah.
some woman unloads on the hood of a car.
Oh, yeah, I think that's what kicked off the conversation.
But just unloads and walks away, sits in her car.
And then was proud of it afterwards, even after she got arrested.
Yeah, but there's no hygienic afterthought in that process, which I thought was really gross. Maybe even grosser than unloading in the car. She sat in her own car and drove away.
Yeah, I don't know.
In a very hot bucket seat.
That's disgusting.
Right?
People are disgusting.
People are gross. And to put cameras on a toilet in a Walmart,
yeah,
you have to really be thinking about reordering the trajectory of your entire existence.
Now, a Talbot's, I could see that.
Yeah, well, it's more of an upper scale
Right.
type of place.
Right. I want classy voyeurism. Not Walmart people. What are you going to get out of a Walmart bathroom?
You don't even
even
want
wanna
to know.
Yeah.
There's stuff going on down there you should never see.
That's like probably like the 2 girls 1 cup video. Maybe it's like one of those things. You don't want to watch it, but you can't stop watching it.
Maybe you're just taking it for the reaction videos.
Yeah. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today. I'm glad we classed this newscast up.
Good thing.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today going to be sunny to start, then cloudy this afternoon with a high of 73. Tomorrow, rain showers with a high of 65. It is 59 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Springfield's Classic Rock, it's 7:51, and Brian Adams with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Sunny to start, then cloudy this afternoon with a high of 73. Tomorrow, rain showers with a high of 65. It is 59 right now in downtown Springfield.
We have some things that we giving away, but
Yes.
let's take a moment before we just dive right into that.
Oh, you don't want to just like give it away. You don't want to like blow your load early. Is that what you're saying? You don't want to prematurely solicit phone calls?
I probably wouldn't have put it quite that way, but if that's the way you want to go for it, Steve, you knock yourself out.
Hey, listen, we all have our different ways of interpreting things.
Or expressing ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, I choose to take a higher road.
What would you have said?
I probably wouldn't have gone for the load blowing part of the conversation.
Well, that could mean any number of things.
I understand.
You could have a pressure cooker full of a load of clam chowder that could explode everywhere. That's blowing your load when you take the lid off too early.
Clam chowder. Hey, isn't there some sort of comedy thing going on Thursday?
This Thursday at the. I will not be there for it. That's the thing.
Oh, really?
I have other things to do.
Oh, really?
Yes.
More important than a $20 comedy show that includes dinner and rolls?
Yeah, I'm spending time with my kid.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, okay. Excused.
But Marty Caproni will be there hosting it. He was in here yesterday talking about it. For all the people who said I stole it from him. Because everybody seems to know what they think they know.
Yeah, right.
But that'll be at the Shortstop Bar and Grill. The tickets, you can get the tickets the same way. You can do it through my Venmo at Nagle Comedy. Show starts at 8 o'clock. Dinner serves at 7:30, and the doors open at 7 o'clock.
He's also got himself a hell of a lineup, too. So that's
he
that's
does.
Good.
He's got Brian Plum will be there.
Hilarious.
He is, because he's always trying something new, and it's usually very funny. Or it's not, and he continues to make you uncomfortable throughout the entire time that you're sitting there.
But it's that kind of discomfort that the rest of us find to be so hilarious.
That's genius.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that says,
guy.
I don't care how you will react to this. I will bulldoze my way into getting you back on my side at some later time.
So that's going on Thursday. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going to Broadway
Broadway?
to see The Great Gatsby.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this like a court imposed type of punishment
Nah,
for
it's
you?
a field trip.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a field trip to go see The Great Gatsby.
Wow. I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore.
You know, he was just a guy just trying to show off his money to impress a chick. That's all he was doing.
If you notice, it's a pretty short book.
You know, yes, it is. Yes,
there's reasons for it.
but it's just, you know, that's all he was doing. And then, you know, she's ghosting him. She doesn't even want anything to do with him. This whole thing is just...
You know, it's been so long since I read The Great Gatsby that I practically forgot what it was about, because I don't think I've read it all the way through. As short as it was like one of those books that didn't capture my imagination in high school. But in high school, my English teacher, there's actually a little fun fact for you.
Yeah.
He was the drama coach in the school, and his big acting claim to fame was that he was in the movie The Great Gatsby.
With Robert Redford?
Yes.
Really?
And he had one line where he had to say hello to Mia Farrow.
Really?
And he did. I think it was like in an elevator or something like that. I think it may have been one of those victims of the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
But his great claim to fame was that he was in The Great Gatsby. And I said, sir, wasn't every actor in Hollywood in The Great Gatsby? Wasn't it like a tour de force of Hollywood casting? Why, yes, it was. Interesting.
Do you ever know? You ever know other people that were in movies?
I did, actually. Yeah.
There was well, first of all, that my buddy Felix there, he was in he's been in several big films.
Yeah.
No speaking lines. Just he was a bodyguard in that Christian Bale movie, and you can see him with that hot redhead. I can't remember her name now.
I can't remember either. But
Adams, what's her name?
Amy Adams.
Is it Amy? Yeah, Amy Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see him in the shot sitting there as a bodyguard in that thing.
I had a good friend in college who was an extra in Risky Business, and she was in that big party.
Really?
Yeah, the party at Joel's house.
Oh,
she was at that party.
But no speaking lines whatsoever.
No, just an extra. She lived like in like the Chicago suburbs because all the John Hughes films were filmed around there.
Right.
So she was an extra. And I also knew a guy, I didn't particularly care for this guy, but he was, the final scene in Ferris Bueller where Rooney's walking on the bus.
Yeah.
He's walking on the bus and he's all beat up. He's been attacked by a dog. He was just a few years from being busted for child pornography. There's all kinds of stuff going on with Rooney.
Yeah.
The kid in the last seat of the bus wearing this really weird hat, this real geeky looking kid, also went to Marquette years later. And I knew the kid.
Wow.
And he let everybody know. That was like the biggest, that was his glow up right
that's
there.
your big
I
flex.
was in Ferris Bueller on the bus.
I was one of the kids on the bus.
I was boy number one on the bus.
I had an acting professor in college at Westfield State.
Yeah.
Who he was in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. He was the priest. He had a speaking part.
Oh, no kidding.
And years later, he still gets residuals in like the form of $1.50. It's like Jerry Seinfeld doing the super happy, the fantastic, whatever, the happy, super terrific comedy show. And and he's like, yeah, I still get residuals from that, and it was like $1. Like, and
wow.
I'm like, he's like, I cash every single one of those checks. Well, because eventually,
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, his money is money, but it's like that's how little actors make off something.
Something like that, he probably made union scale, but the residuals over the course of time, he's probably matched that.
Yeah, but he was the priest in the original Nightmare on Elm Street when they're doing one of the funerals. He was, and that's it. And that was the only, couple of lines that he had, and that was the end of it. But hey, the bennies just keep on rolling in.
Speaking of bennies, what do you say we give away some tickets right now?
Sure.
52 Sumner. As you know, right there on Sumner Avenue, they're doing one great show after another this weekend, May 31st. Fleetwood Mac is going to be there. Not Fleetwood Mac, Fleetwood Mac.
Mac.
Right. It's
Return of the Mac.
It's the past tense of Fleetwood Mac, if that's even possible.
Yeah.
Anyway, 10th caller right now at 293-1021 will win themselves a pair of tickets. Good luck on Rock.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Benjamin Moore Paint, Cabot Stains, plus rock-solid painting advice and expertise.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, this year I'm going to be turning 59 years old, 1 year shy of my 60th birthday. And while they're just meaningless numbers to me, I do know that with each passing year, I become a little more mature, a little bit wiser, and perhaps more thoughtful in turning impulse into action. This is how I've managed to avoid getting arrested or charged with any crimes. Criminal activity is a young man's game, but so is seeking revenge with a firearm. Yesterday, six-time NBA All-Star Sean Kemp pled guilty to a 2023 assault charge in which he allegedly shot two men in a Toyota 4Runner. Now, before you go jumping to any conclusions, I should tell you that had these young men in the car not stolen the vehicle from Sean Kemp while he enjoyed a night out at a concert with several of his employees at the cannabis dispensary he owns in Tacoma, Washington, then it's entirely possible there would be no charges against Sean Kemp from that night. Unfortunately, in stealing this vehicle, they also took a purse, a cell phone, important paperwork, and a bunch of sports memorabilia that was supposed to be auctioned off for charity. It was this point that Sean Kemp took matters into his own hands, tracked the location of the car, and confronted the suspects with a gun. Folks, Sean Kemp is 55 years old, 53 at the time of this attempted shooting. I'm just a few years older than Sean Kemp, but if somebody stole my car with a bunch of stuff inside that I probably wouldn't even have left the house with, I would have said, you know what? I think I'm going to leave this in the hands of a qualified law enforcement official. You see, I'm at the age where taking matters into my own hands is perhaps not really a wise choice, especially if my desire for justice involves me taking a gun and shooting at people. Even if the people have stolen my car and regardless of the officially licensed game jerseys that I left inside of it. And I would like to think that most guys my age would know better, but apparently they do not. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Scott's Naturescapes Color Enhanced Mulch. That's beautiful stuff. Get 3 bags for $10 at Rocky's, and the bags are bigger at Rocky's. 2 cubic feet as opposed to those ones they sell at the big fat home centers, but it's only 1.5 cubic feet. Do the math. You're going to get a much better deal at your neighborhood Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's just about 8:14, and Billy Idol with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It's going to be sunny to start, then cloudy this afternoon with a high of 73. Tomorrow, rain showers with a high of 65. It is 59 right now in downtown Springfield.
Hey, by the way, anyone who didn't win those tickets we just gave away, don't worry. More tickets are on the way later this hour to a different show.
To a different show.
A different show.
A different concert, different venue.
Yes.
But if those particular tickets might be tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. But that's later on this hour.
And don't call here if you've won something within the past 30 days. What was that last week?
Last week. So everyone, I think by now, knows that there's a 30-day rule. You can't win something within 30 days of winning the previous thing you won. It's not just us saying that. That's every radio station in America. And yet last week we gave away, I think it was like one of these tickets.
Yeah.
And 2 people in a row violated the 30-day rule. Like one guy had won something like a week before. One guy won something
2 weeks before.
2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Caller 10 and 11 both violated the 30-day rule.
It hasn't been 30 days yet? Lay off the pipe, Mersh. George Clinton is here. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. Like, how do you not know that you didn't win something within the last 30 days?
Because I hate to break it to you. If you don't know pretty sure we do.
Yeah, we got this fairly new system within the last couple of years of new contesting and all that stuff. You know, where we can, when you tell us, you know, information about yourself, even if you have, it matches everything. So even if your address is in there or your phone, everything, it tells us if you won, previous 30 days. The old system we had used to have a little piggy emoji next to it if you were, like, frequently winning from us all the time.
Yeah, and if you had the volume up, you'd hear like a little squeal.
Yeah, a little prize piggy is what we call you.
Yeah, you'd hear like Ned Beatty and Deliverance squealing like a pig.
You know, we talk a lot of shiznit about our listeners that call up and frequently win. Only the frequent flyers.
True, but only the ones that deserve it. I mean, it's one thing to win something. Good for you for being the 10th caller at any one given period of time. But shame on you for violating the rule, which makes it fair for everybody to win something from time to time.
Oink, oink, bitches.
Yeah, and you people know who you are. We know who you are. We can see it. In the old system, we could see all. You could like call up a name, and it would list all the things that they had won over the course of like a dozen years, and there were like a handful of people that had won contests.
Yeah,
30 times.
We could tell you what you won back in 2005.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, we don't really, the system we have now doesn't quite, categorize things in the same way.
Yeah.
But we know when you're violating the rules, so don't try to think that you're going to outsmart us and our very, very high-tech equipment in this building.
Oh, somebody said, hey, what if we win on your sister station? It's still the same database. Isn't it?
No, I think it's different.
So you can win within 30 days over there?
No, it's the same 30-day rule applies, but it doesn't apply if you win something there and then win something here.
But the guy is asking if you win, let's say you won those Fleetwood Mac tickets today.
Yeah.
Can you go over and, I don't know, win something with Leah Rance in the afternoon?
I don't believe there's anything that would prevent you from doing that because it's still technically two different radio stations, even though it's the same people giving you the prizes every 30 days.
Why you got to be so greedy is my question.
Well, the thing is, it's like, you're being a glutton.
Yeah.
You're basically denying everybody else a chance to enjoy a day of thrills by winning a contest on the radio. Do you feel comfortable knowing that you have denied someone a nice prize simply because you can't wait 30 days to win something new?
What about the ones that used to call, well, they still do. They'll call, they won't even listen to what you said. They just say, be caller 10 now.
What'd I win again?
What did I win? I don't want that. I was like, whoa.
Can I get 3 rather than 2?
Yeah. I can't use these. Can somebody else use them? Did you not listen to what we were saying?
Some people do not listen to all the details.
They just hear the caller thing. And then some people are listening to a completely different radio station. Remember that guy last week that called up and he was like, yeah, I'm here to chime in about the fidget spinners or whatever the hell they were talking about. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he starts to go on about this conversation that he thinks we were having, but it was really another radio station having.
Look at there have been times when, let's say, we're giving away tickets to the 3-county fair.
Yeah.
And the guy wins, and you get all his information. He said, okay, what'd I win again? Well, you won a 4-pack to the 3-county fair. I'll tell you what, how about I give you those? You give me a pair of Stones tickets instead. Yeah, because those are a similar prize.
Have you ever won something like big, like on your own, not from a radio station? Have you ever won like a contest?
I want a not really. I mean the Pinewood Derby, but that's all skill and.
But you never won like a national sweepstakes.
No,
or anything like that.
No.
I'm always curious if those are even real, like the winners of those. I mean, how easy is it to fake a winner for like a national company like Coca-Cola or one of these things where if you find this. Remember, there a whole documentary on that Monopoly thing where the guy was cheating the game on the. That's why McDonald's doesn't
stop doing it. Yeah,
Monopoly thing. But how many other companies are out there like that say that we're running this big sweepstakes when it's really just a thing to get your information?
Well, you understand though that now because there have been so many lawsuits filed over the years not only just against companies that are running the contests, but also lawsuits have been filed against some winners who have cheated their way to winning. That every company now, if they're doing it right, has lawyers up the wazoo making sure that every possible contingency is covered.
Yeah.
So that they can't do something that is illegal. It's not to say that it doesn't happen. It does happen from time to time. I know for us, we don't give out anything unless a lawyer has signed off on it.
Has checked it all over.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? For good reason. Because we don't want to be involved in
a lawsuit.
No, of course not. Who the hell does? Who's got the time and the money and the resources to do that? But nevertheless, that's why we're very careful. That's why we have laws preventing you from winning twice in 30 days.
Somebody else suggested, how about a 30-day rule on the call-in line on Open Line Friday? That would actually be not a bad idea.
Listen,
you have 30 days to come up with a complete thought.
The anti-dink rule clearly isn't sinking into some people.
Seriously, if you can't come up with a good thought in 30 days, then you shouldn't be calling at all. We'll ban you for life. You know?
Right.
We haven't heard from Vince the plumber in a while. He's thinking about other shout-outs he can do.
I called 2 weeks ago.
That's what I'm saying. At least that's sporadic now. It's not every single time that we're doing.
I want to bet you he was trying to get in on Friday.
Probably was.
Just couldn't get through. It's not like he's got like a hotline to get in.
Now, tomorrow, you're going to be running best of stuff.
Because you're going to be going on your field trip.
Yeah, maybe I should throw in some open lines in there so you can watch the phones light up because people don't understand that it's a recorded version of what we previously have done.
Didn't I hear these calls 30 days ago?
Yeah. Why does this sound like the open line from a month ago?
They haven't done an open line on Thursday, and I don't know how long.
That guy clearly called in 2 weeks ago. He didn't call in 30 days ago. I don't know. It's just people to call yourself a listener. You're not listening very well.
You're a participant, but not a very good one.
Yeah. Now wait for them old Deerfield Craft Fair tickets to come by, and bam, those things will be going like hotcakes.
It's 8:23 on Rock 102. 8:33 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. Longmeadow police are looking for a driver after a student was hurt during an incident with a vehicle near the exit of the store's library around 8:15 a.m. on Tuesday. Investigators said the student received minor scratches, but overall is doing okay. They added that the incident was reported after the student arrived at school. They're now looking for what is described as a silver gray or blue sedan and its driver. If you saw the incident, were in the area at that time, or have the information, you're asked to contact the police. I think this calls for a little dramatic effect, don't you?
I sure do.
Yeah. Longmeadow, Massachusetts, a tranquil New England town where little ever goes wrong, but on an ordinary Tuesday morning, something strange happened and no one seems to know exactly what.
I think I saw a car. It could have been blue or gray or unpainted with Bondo.
Around 8:15 a.m., a student was involved in some kind of incident with a vehicle near the exit of the store's library. What happened next? That part remains unclear. The student reportedly walked away with only minor scratches. But the story wasn't even reported until they arrived at school. By then, the vehicle and his driver were long gone.
Now that I think about it, the car could have been green with blue trim and white wall tires, except one tire was a donut.
There are no clear witnesses, no known video, no photos. The only description police have, a silver gray or blue sedan. No make, no model, no plates, no details about the driver, just a car that may or may not have done something.
I was just minding my own business, just discovering that there's a library in Longmeadow.
Did the driver even know an incident occurred? Was this a minor scrape? Or something more serious that went unnoticed?
I haven't seen something this serious in Longmeadow since they shut down Cock and a Walk.
If you are in the area around 8:15 a.m. on Tuesday, if you passed by the store's library, or if you might have seen a silver gray or blue sedan, no matter how insignificant it seems, please contact Chief Robert Stock at the Longmeadow Police Department for Unsolved Mysteries Longmeadow Edition. There's no information about it.
I mean, if you're asking people to report on what they saw, but don't tell them what they want, but tell them no information about this situation, then we can't possibly tell you what we saw if we don't know what we had seen.
Everybody's the a-hole in this situation, except for the kid. The kid didn't do anything wrong. I'm talking about the reporting from the police and the reporter from either news station who doesn't ask. They just copy and paste a report that they got from the Longmeadow police. I would be like, okay, is there surveillance video? Is there anything indicating that, it's a busy Tuesday morning? No one saw anything? This kid getting, brushed by a car?
And you're being told to identify a car that could be one of 4 potential colors. So, I mean, that's honestly... How are we supposed to help you?
This is like the green, what was it? The blue and silver or silver dress. What color's the dress? What color's the sedan that brushed by the kid yesterday morning at the store's library?
Next thing you know, it'll be like a white panel truck.
It's just so mind-numbing to not get information. If you're trying to help solve a crime, and that's the only information that you're offering, and as a reporter on the other side, not even asking any questions, just ripping and reading and throwing it online.
We used to accuse West Springfield of being notorious for this, where they said, someone had just stolen a bunch of items at a local shopping facility, but would not tell you. Yeah. Well, where is this? Is this Riverdale Streets on Memorial? Somewhere else in town that we should be aware of?
It's like watching an episode of Blue's Clues. You got to look. Oh, there's orange shopping carts. That must be a Home Depot, or there's a red Target symbol in the background.
Like there was an incident at a local restaurant. If you've seen anything, let us know. Well, what restaurant are you talking about? Where is it located? And what am I allegedly to have seen?
What's that yellow M in the background?
Big, giant M. You can't miss it.
Yeah,
unless you don't know where you're talking about.
Listen, I'm glad the kid is okay.
It doesn't sound like a life-threatening situation.
No, but I mean, it doesn't sound like there's really any effort to catch anybody in that particular realm. I don't know.
I mean, if you're asking me to identify a guy in a lineup, but I don't know what car he was in, what color the car was, I'm never going to identify that guy.
All right, we're looking for something. What are you looking for? A car. What color was it? Silver. Maybe it was gray. Maybe it was blue.
Maybe it was a bus.
What does the driver look like? A person.
He looked like a man.
He looked like a very...
Suddenly, Mrs. Swan from Mad TV is the only one that can correctly identify.
A man.
It looks like a man.
Yeah. Well, where did this happen? In Longmeadow at 8:15 a.m. in the morning. It was like it's so specific details of things that don't really matter as opposed to what somebody saw. Is like, I wonder if the Longmeadow police are training to be a 22 News crew. Oh my God! There was this car that drove by. It was silver or blue or gray. I don't know. It was crazy.
I mean, imagine like a police sketch in Longmeadow where it's just like a stick figure. Like a round circle with like a stick body, hands and arms.
Do you remember that report from years ago where people in the neighborhood were seeing a leprechaun going around and it was just a drawing of this like poorly drawn, like kids drawing of a leprechaun?
Right.
That was the police sketch. All right. Anyway, a man from Salem, Massachusetts was arrested and faces multiple charges after he was found speeding at around 140 miles an hour in New Hampshire on Monday. That's not dangerous at all.
No.
New Hampshire State Police stated in a news release that approximately at 7:45 a.m. on Monday, troopers observed a red Corvette speeding at around 110 miles an hour in Salem, New Hampshire. A little red Corvette?
Now, that's Memorial Day.
Baby, you're much too fast.
Right. Now, that's Memorial Day, right?
Yeah.
Now, how is anyone driving on, like, say, like a Route 95 or a 495 at those speeds anywhere in New England,
I don't know.
even at 7 o'clock in the morning.
When attempting to stop the vehicle, they witnessed the driver speeding up significantly and recklessly passing other cars across all lanes. Troopers from the Special Enforcement Unit used a fixed-wing aircraft to monitor the vehicle on I-93 northbound. The driver was observed speeding up to 140 miles an hour before leaving off of Exit 3 and driving onto side roads in Wyndham.
143 miles an hour.
Isn't that crazy?
What kind of car was this?
It was a red Corvette, little red
Little
Corvette.
red Corvette.
Yeah.
Wow.
Baby, you're much too fast. Isn't that how the lyrics go?
I believe so, yes.
I'm surprised you don't have that queued up for us.
I'm getting it right now.
State police said that troopers were guided by the aircraft to the location of the Corvette, where a traffic stop was eventually conducted on Johnson Road. The driver, identified as 22-year-old Brandon Babcock, Brandon of Salem, was arrested on multiple charges, including reckless driving and disobeying an officer.
145 miles an hour. I mean, you're going to burn through a lot of gas that way.
Yeah. Oh, I miss Prince.
Do you really?
No, not really.
I didn't think so. Yeah, baby, you're much too fast. Oh, little red Corvette. All right, I've heard enough.
What are you talking about? See,
You're the kind of person that believes in making out once, love him and leave him fast. I guess I must be dumb, because you had a pocket full of horses, Trojan and some of them you.
ooh,
hey.
condoms.
But is it all right? You say what I got to lose. Little red Corvette, baby, you're much too fast. Oh, little red Corvette, you need a love that's gonna last.
Wow, what an incredible piece of crap that was.
Well, he wrote back.
How is he like a genius? I didn't understand that.
Oh, no. He's definitely a genius. I don't think there's any question that Prince is a genius.
I wonder if the driver was wearing a raspberry beret. See, I like that song.
That's a good one.
That's a good.
I don't know.
I can't get this fast enough up here.
Well, no. Well, I mean, I can get it fast. It's just, do you how oh, fuck, crying out loud. Yeah.
You almost said a swear word.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. How do you spell beret?
B-E-R-E-T.
I'd say I got the raspberries go all the way.
They don't have that one? Raspberry Beret by Prince?
Well, I suppose if I spelled it correctly, that might be a little bit. Yes.
Ah,
Here
there
we
you go.
go.
See? There. Huh. Yeah. Huh. Ha. Huh. Ha. 1, 2, 3. Ha. Yeah.
I was working for the man at the 5 and dime. My boss was Mr. McGee. He told me several times that he didn't like my kind, 'cause I was a bit too leisurely. Seems I was busy doing something close to nothing, but different than the day before. That's when I saw her. Ooh, I saw her. She walked into the outdoor raspberry beret. The kind you find in a secondhand store. Raspberry beret. If it was warm, she wouldn't wear much long.
The late Warren Zevon did a version of this with guys from REM. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Then a one-time offshoot called Hindu Love Gods. They did a really cool version of it.
Was it really good?
It was actually really good.
He had some hits. What are you playing now? Oh, this is the song.
This is it, the Hindu Love Gods with Warren Zevon. Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:52, and Alice in Chains with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Let's see. Sunny to start, then cloudy this afternoon with a high of 73. It's 63 right now in downtown Springfield.
We've been telling you for the last couple of weeks of Steve Nagle throwing that big party, the summer kickoff party, June 21st at Vanish Valley Brewing in Ludlow. Celebrate the start of summer and to raise money for Rick's Place. As you know, Rick's Place is a place that supports gives free support to children, teens, and their families after the loss of a loved one. We want to help them continue to do the great work that they do. There'll be live music from Jack and his guitar, loads of activities, also face painting, a magician, Boomer from the Thunderbirds, and a whole lot more. Got a lot of prizes, food and beverages from Banish Valley. The Mad Eats food truck will be there, along with Malicious Ice Cream. Get your tickets now at rock102.com. It's just $10, $10.21 to get in, plus a small ticketing fee. Every penny goes to Rick's Place. It's Steve Nagle's Summer Kickoff, June 21st, noon to 3 at Vanish Valley in Ludlow. Brought to you by Dave Miner Exterior Home Improvements, Aqua Pump, Aura Credit Union, and Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
And shout out to the Hawkman for a hefty donation that he made to sponsor this event that we've done.
Very generous of him.
But you're not going to be part of the commercial. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
It's not
why? Because I'm not re-recording that.
And it's not our call, really.
It really isn't our call.
No, it's not.
Really not. But you know what? If you want to donate online, you can buy the tickets right now, and then we got raffle prizes coming up as well. Lots of really good stuff. Like there's Boston baseball tickets. I can't say. Why can't we say the name? Because we're dealing with a contest.
Yeah, well, it's not really a contest.
Well,
it's a charity
event. But apparently we can't say the name of that toilet bowl that is up in Boston.
I'm not going to say that. It is a historical landmark.
It is a toilet bowl.
It is not a toilet bowl. It is an historical shrine.
Smells just like Bondi's Island as I was driving through downtown Springfield this morning. What is that all about? I can't imagine living near that.
Near Bondi's?
As soon as I come down 91, just before you get to the Sheraton there, you can start smelling it, and it lingers all the way up through Fort Pleasant Street.
I know. I know that on occasion it gets a little funky down there, but for the most part, it's so much better than it used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be that on any given day, you could smell the overwhelming aroma of human waste every single day. Now you don't have that. They put all those stick-ups around the tanks.
Yeah. Yeah, they should put the stick-ups.
No, they did. That's what they did. That's what it now smells springtime fresh or like fresh linen.
Renews it?
Yes.
Is that what
those
they're doing?
Glade plugins really did their job.
You think Dom goes to work every morning and goes, "Ooh, fa, with the smell over there. What's going on? Something stinks."
I'm sure, but they did try to contain as much of the stank as they possibly could. But there are gonna be days when it's just too much.
I remember living in Wilbraham when they used to have that turkey farm over there, and you could smell the stench of the manure from the from the turkey goo they put all over the farm field. That was gross. Yeah. But anyway, back to the great prizes that we have for the. Dave Miner has generously donated a bunch of games for kids. This is a family-friendly event. Just because it's at a brewery doesn't mean you can't bring the family. It's a daytime thing. There's going to be lots of activities for the kids.
Yeah,
things like that. He's got all these prizes like a giant Connect 4 and a badminton set, Lego sets.
That's cool.
Electric scooter.
Really? He's going with a scooter.
Yeah. A Lego Duplo set.
He doesn't go from a roof job to roof job on a scooter?
I don't think he does that.
You don't think so?
I don't think he can tow anything behind that scooter.
It'd have to be a hell of a scooter.
What else do we got? We got tickets to the Southwick, the 338, coming up on June 28th.
That's a good event.
That's a good event. Tribeca, $100 gift card. Yard Tavern, $100 gift card. A Play Now gift basket. That's where George worked, at Play Now. Remember?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Vanish Valley gift basket. The Text Me for Tires guy, 2 $500 gift cards, that's a pretty damn good prize.
Actually, that's pretty
think
good.
About how much tires cost. A $500 gift card through a tire place comes in pretty handy right now.
Is.
Autumn Mist Farms. There's gift cards there. Jerome's Party Plus. There's MGM overnight dinner at Chandler. You don't sleep in Chandler's. You sleep in the hotel.
But you can eat at Chandler's one of those nights that you're there.
MGM will not let you sleep in the restaurant. It says overnight and dinner at Chandler. But I don't think it's a thing. Thunderbird's prize packs, Mass Hire Holyoke has gift baskets. There's all kinds of stuff for everybody to enjoy that day, and it's a great organization to support, and we hope to see you out there.
Now, if you're one of those people that likes to win stuff, you have to go there in order to do that.
Yeah.
But if you're one of those people that prefers to win stuff on the radio, I can tell you this.
Yeah.
We have tickets to see Almost Queen at the Westfield River Brewing Company on June 7th.
All right.
All right. Now, tickets to see Almost Queen. Those are the tickets we are giving away. If you've won anything over the last 30 days, you were not eligible, and we'll figure it out.
Don't make us go oink, oink, you little prize piggy.
Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. Springfield's Classic Rock. It's just about 9:11, and ZZ Top with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
I just read this thing on the Route Entire listener like, we were talking about prize pigs before.
Yeah.
I never got that down and dirty with your mother, Chris Kim, but I did win a cachet of monthly prizes from Rock 102. Oink, oink. 63 right now in downtown Springfield. Bax, are you ready for some fun facts?
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it hits you in the nads. The backs of life.
The backs of life.
The backs of life. We're not always kings and queens.
Number one. A recent study showed that taxi and ambulance drivers have a lower risk of death from Alzheimer's disease compared to more than 400 other professions. Because they've been pulling wild maneuvers and navigating tight spots for years, just like your mom at Fleet Week.
Hey.
Not your mom,
thank
but
goodness.
your mom in general. Number two. The country of Liechtenstein has won 10 Olympic medals, and all of them are for alpine skiing. And that makes sense because they've been training to go down fast, hard, and on ice since birth. And I've married women with less dedication and worse form.
Yes.
That's my fifth wife.
Right.
Number three. The day that Michael Jackson caught on fire while filming a Pepsi commercial was literally a halfway point of his life. It happened 9,282 days after he was born, and he died 9,281 days later. He lit up right in the middle, kind of like me during a threesome with two pyromaniacs and a bottle of baby oil. Did he party, anybody? Number four. An old wives' tale says pregnant women.
Well, I got a buddy.
I got a buddy, too. With heartburn is more likely to have a hairy baby. A study in 2006 tried to disprove that, but it actually proved it was true. So if she's burping lava every night, don't be shocked when the baby comes out looking like it's got a merkin glued to its forehead and asking for beard oil. I have a buddy that's not into that. And number five. There are only 2 documented cases in history of coyotes killing humans, which is still safer than trying to pull out on time when she's screaming, "Howl for me, Daddy." I got a buddy who's into that, too. And there you go.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it hits you in the nads. The backs of life.
The backs of life.
The backs of life.
Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
GG